Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Crawler. I'm making this video as a part of an assignment for Skyfi Labs, where I took a course on machine learning using Python. I have learned through project-based approach, which provided me a thorough idea on how to do linear regression algorithm on various topics. So instead of using same topic, I thought, why not use linear regression in daily life use? Now suppose, you and your gang trying to plan a Goa trip. Because that's what you do being a teenager. And now you have to handle money budget department. Fear not.
I am here.
Let's build a model to analyze this. Before starting any machine learning project, you should be thorough with the workflow. 1. Data gathering and visualization. 2. Data pre-processing. 3. Splitting the dataset into training and testing data. 4. Training the model on training data. 5. Model visualization. 6. Testing the model on test data. 7. Checking accuracy, scores, prediction, etc. So let's go to code. Action is where you imports all the important and needed packages to run a machine learning program. Like pandas, numpy, matplotlib, sklearn, these are some basic and key packages. Then here, I have imported dataset using pandas object pd and read CSV function. By using .head and .info function, we can have a look into data. This is the data gathering step which I talked about previously. Here is we can see data is not null, not empty, so there are no missing data and outliers. We have to predict the price. Depending upon other features from dataset like distance, speed, temperature outside, inside. So we take x as a data frame containing independent variables and y takes dependent variable, that is price. Here we have checked and visualized through a bar graph that which independent variable has high correlation with the dependent variable. Note that it is not necessarily true high correlation gives better performance. This was the data visualization step. Before going to next steps ahead, we have to normalize the data in order to handle it very well. Just imagine graph with 300, 400 numbers on the axis, it doesn't look good. Here we normalize, basically scaled the dataset in range of 0 to 1 using min-max scalar function. This was the data pre-processing step. We have to split the dataset into training and testing dataset. So I use train test split function which will do the work. On training data we will train the model, and once the model trained we will use the testing data for prediction purpose. Now here I have used two approaches. 1. By using gradient descent. 2. Directly using sklearn library inbuilt function. Let's check first approach. Gradient descent is an optimization algorithm which will minimize the cost function, in this case the loss function. Let's understand it by a simple example. If you are at top of the hill and you have to reach the bottom, you choose one steepest path and continue further. There may comes point you find it as the lowest point, but in actual it's not. This is known as local minima. To take more steps, the size of these steps is called the learning rate. Higher the learning rate, more ground we can cover, but there is a risk of overshooting. Lower learning rate is precise, but then it will take a longer time to compute. Proper learning have to decide. Here we define error function, here update function, and here gradient descent function. More or less what this does is takes our initial starting points and start calculating in one way, that is the line of regression. From here we provide the initial values with initial line coefficient m is 0.9, line intercept is 0, learning rate we have so much talked about is 0.0001, iteration is 4000, and error underscore threshold is taken so that we don't have to calculate again and again after the threshold. Algorithm should stop. We have optimized and trained the model. Let's look into one line graph, which will tell us how model has trained. I have shown it visually by a video. Let's just check another graph which shows us how error has decreased over iterations. This graph tells how model behaves with test data. We can see line looks similar. Here we can see our predicted and test data difference. Thus model visualization and testing is done. Let's see how model behaved. We have mean squared error 0.014 and root mean squared error 0.1201. The same is done by directly using sklearn libraries inbuilt linear regression function. We can see both approaches have same MSE and RMSE. Now, let's predict some things. On trained model we will give distance and it will tell how much fuel price we have to spend. So giving distance of 90 km, price is 288 rupees approx. Done. Solved the problem. Note that you can use various attributes like speed, temperature from dataset and make appropriate changes and see the results.